This is a CBS News Special Report. I'm Norah O'Donnell. We are coming on the air right now with breaking news because the U.S. Capitol has been placed on lockdown as angry protesters surround the building. We should note that the House and Senate have halted debate on objections to the Electoral College vote, and they have gone into recess. Senior members, including the Vice President, Mike Pence, have been rushed from the floor, and you're looking at them now. Extraordinary images of tens of thousands of pro-Trump supporters, all encouraged by the president, who said he will not concede, he will not accept defeat, and now his protesters have marched from just outside the White House down Pennsylvania Avenue and have charged. What you're looking at now is the east front of the Capitol. There are reports that there are protesters inside the Capitol building. We have reporters all on Capitol Hill to bring you the very latest information. This is obviously a serious situation and that has now involved a number of authorities, including the U.S. Capitol Police, the D.C. Metro Police. We know that the mayor had asked for the National Guard. I've not yet seen them on Capitol Hill, but they are throughout the city. Ed O'Keefe is here with us. Ed?
Well, so one of the reasons why these precautions are being taken, and this may seem silly to many, but nobody's supposed to be on these stairs in front of the Capitol. They are purposely kept empty because just behind those walls are the chambers for the House and the Senate and the rotunda. So because both chambers were meeting, and with all senior leadership there, police have taken this precaution, at least, to suspend the debate and move the senior leadership into secure positions. I'm told they're probably still in the building, but in more secure locations. And this is just what does not normally happen. And clearly, Capitol Police and Washington Police were not prepared for this kind of a demonstration. It appears to be mostly peaceful from this vantage point, but it is dramatic and it is out of the norm for an area that is quite secure and keeps several different pieces of decorum in place to avoid this kind of a situation.
It is quite clear the authorities did not understand fully the intention of these protesters. Otherwise, they would not have moved the vice president outside the Senate chamber as they did about 2:10 p.m. Eastern time. The Senate pro tem, Charles Grassley, the senior-most senator in the body, came rapidly into the chair and then said there will be a recess. The House did the same thing, and just a couple of minutes later, because there is no clear indication just how peaceable this protest will be. Those protesters you see live now on the Capitol steps got there because they breached barriers, and they vastly outnumbered the available Capitol Police. It is quite clear authorities are sending reinforcements to the Capitol to bring this into some form of better order, because intent is not clear. As Ed said, it appears most of these protesters are acting peaceably, but some clearly have so alarmed those who protect the Capitol that they thought they had to take precautions to protect the Vice President of the United States, senators in attendance, and members of the House in attendance.
Yes, and while you're looking at pictures outside the Capitol, there are also images inside Capitol Hill with protesters walking through the United States Statuary Hall, which is just right off the House floor, where we're told that, and we see images as well, that House debate has resumed. But that image you're looking at right now is Statuary Hall, and Ed, describe for everyone.
This is an area that's open to visitors. So yes, any normal day, you can walk through here. The tour guide reminds you that the aesthetics are such that if you stand in one corner, you can hear somebody else whispering in the other. What's different is that during this pandemic era, they've been keeping people out as a precaution. So again, the police were not anticipating this kind of an influx of a crowd, and as you can see here, a police officer stepping in perhaps to remind these people to keep moving and make their way out. So this is dramatic. It's not as if we've heard that there are violent altercations happening inside the building. There were some scuffles outside with police officers as people stormed some of the barricades that are there, because remember, on the west front, the part that faces the National Mall, they've been setting up the stage for the inauguration, which will still happen outside, or is still scheduled to occur outside. They jumped those fences and caused some altercations, limited there with the police. So this is, again, Statuary Hall. This is the old House chamber. In the actual House chamber, as you can see there in the split screen, they are conducting the debate as they were supposed to, as they are legally required to by the Constitution today, the 6th of January.
Major Garett, you have covered Capitol Hill. You covered Trump and talked to many of his closest advisors daily. Did the President of the United States incite all of this?
Unquestionably. There is one reason why this is happening. And if some in America look at this and say, hey, maybe they're going to occupy the Congress and it'll change the trajectory of this. That's not going to happen. It will disrupt and slow things and create an appalling set of imageries, not only for our country, but for the world that looks at our democracy in action. But the president egged this on with tweets for weeks upon weeks, with his speech just moments ago near the ellipse at the White House, saying that this election was stolen and something has to be done, and we're not going to accept it. This protest is living proof that these Trump supporters, so emboldened by the words of the president, will not accept it. And I'm just advised that on Twitter, the president has said that his own vice president lacked the courage to do what was right to protect the country, even though his vice president was following the Constitution and applicable federal law. That's the state of play in America today. A vice president adhering to the Constitution and applicable federal law is essentially regarded as a betrayer by the President of the United States. And this vociferous protest you're seeing here is an embodiment of that reckless and malignant language of the President of the United States. And to Ed's point, yes, it's the people's house. People can come in there, but you've got to go through security. Yeah. This is a security breach. I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm not trying to say that this is out of control. It's not out of control, but it is highly unusual. And because the authorities do not understand the intent of these protesters, they have taken extraordinary measures to protect the vice president's safety and the safety of senators who were in the body debating this very question about the Electoral College vote to certify it as we know it's all going to be certified.
Ed has some new reporting, but I just want to touch base quickly with Chris Van Cleve, who was there just outside the Capitol. And Chris, tell us what you're seeing.
Well, Nora, I think there are two experiences going on here. The bulk of the people here are assembled peacefully. They are chanting. But then if you look up here onto the inauguration stage, you can see there's a large number of people. We've watched them climb up the scaffolding to get up there. That is what the Capitol Police and the D.C. Police, who you can see, massive, you can pan over, you can see the sort of neon jackets. Those are the police at the base of the Capitol. Up above them on the riser, those are Trump supporters. They're very large Trump flags. They've been climbing up the scaffolding to get up there. We have seen the smoke from flashbangs. We have seen people coming off of the lawn who have been tear gassed or pepper sprayed. So clearly the police have. There's a man walking by here, Nora, that has a Capitol Police shield in his hands. He is not a police officer, right there. So there clearly have been some run-ins with police here, and clearly some tense moments. For the people that are back where we are across the Capitol lawn, a very peaceful experience. But up there on the Capitol grounds, you can see dozens and dozens of those neon green jackets. Those are all police officers. You can see some smoke there. That is likely something the police have deployed as they are trying to clear people who have taken over the stands that are used to inaugurate the president. That is the security concern that has led to the Capitol being locked down at points, and it's really setting the tone out here.